Let's go while we're young.
So exciting, isn't it? Just gets me all tingly every time we do it. Everybody get a drink and take a seat. You're in the back room. Oh, do you know where you are? You're in the back room, baby. You're gonna be mildly entertained in the back room. Welcome to the back room. We're gonna bring you joy. Huh, probably not. We offer nothing. We offer nothing. Yeah, if you're new, it's that kind of show. You know, hold on 1 second. Fuck. I'm kidding. I did my cocaine like an hour ago. Hey, everybody. It's your old pal, Gary. Welcome to another exciting edition of the Backroom Show. Hey, this is our final Tuesday show. If you've been watching for a while, we fluctuated the last couple to accommodate schedules, but this is going to be our very last Tuesday show. From this point forward, we will be on Fridays. This always had a Friday feel to it anyway, so I hope you can make it. And even if you can't, you know, it's live once, it's taped forever, so that's that. All right, let's forget all this rigmarole bullshit. Everybody, say hi in the chat. I know our guests have a few people watching, so please feel free to join in the chat. We show them because you are part of the back room. The back room is just friends coming together. And friends, strangers, or just friends you haven't met yet. I'm already sick of me. Why does anybody watch this? All right, so you go, it'll be like that. All right, so we have a special guest co-host tonight, my pal of 40 years. We're going to be talking about all things collecting, and we got a fun special guest with us tonight, too. All right, let's quit fucking around here, because our other guest has got a heart out because he's 100 years old and has to go to bed. All right, please welcome you. You know I'm going to love him. Please, Mike Ruppert. Hold on.
What's up, guys?
Mike Ruppert, hold on, has next play. That's right.
Years of letting my freak flag fly.
That's it. He put his quarter on the top of the machine, right? The little rim. That's how you mark you have next play. No, hold on. Fuck you, Zinger. All right? Bullshit. Hey, Landis. Bullshit. No. Root's fucking next. Tee. Those are the names of our pals. We love them. There you go, Root. I'm sure you had plenty of quarters up on video games for next play back in the day, right?
I did. Absolutely.
Yeah, you fucking did. Yeah, that was hey, Richard checking in. Our new viewer, Richard, by the way. Good to see you, Richard, saying, hello. Is it me you're looking for? What? Speaking of that. Rube, how the fuck are you tonight on a Tuesday?
Good, man.
What are you in an arcade? Wink, wink, wink. Yeah, we'll get into all that. Look at this fucking bad. Exactly. There you go. Michelle Rutter checking in. Hi there. Hi, Michelle. God, Michelle was the older sister of one of my friends when, like, you know, late elementary and in the junior high, and she has beautiful dark hair. She looked kind of like Una O'Neill. Google it.
Is her brother Eric?
Eric Rutter. That is correct. That is his older sister who.
Yeah.
Love you, Michelle.
Sat in front of me in homeroom.
Love you. There you go, Rupert Rutter. Here you go. Exactly. All right. So let's get the plugs out of the way. If you're watching the YouTube, congratulations, you found it. Good for you. But that said, are you subscribed? Are you subscribed? Well, if not, it's really easy. You go there, you type in the Backroom Network, all one word. Don't put fucking spaces in. We're gonna have a lot of fucking problems. You put spaces in. It's gotta be all one word. And you go, and you're just gonna see the subscribe. And here's what you do. Just put your finger down. That much effort. That's all the fucking effort you have to put in. Holy shit. Look at this. Look at this. Matt Wright checking in. Hey, boys. The great Matt fucking Wright, man. There's an OG right there. What's up, Matt? Speaking of homeroom. There you go. I can't. Remember that? I won't get in trouble. I won't get in trouble from 35 years ago. Jeanette checking in. Hey.
I went to school with Jeanette.
There you go. You hear that disembodied voice. It's the friend of our guest today. Jeanette, welcome to the Backroom Show. Now it's all gray. She talks about her hair. I know, whatever. That's okay. There's Wendy. Wendy Jones Gear, who still has my lighter from about 20 years ago. There you go.
Wow.
And Tina checking in. Hey, guys. The gorgeous Tina. Hello, Tina. How are you? So also follow us on the Facebook, Backroom Show and Backroom Network. What? But Gary, that's 2. Yeah, you can handle it. Roop, check this out.
I'm ready.
I got next on Donkey Kong, Mr. Peter Felterbush. I know you know who that is, right?
What? I know who that is.
Yeah, I may have mentioned him in a little. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Welcome,
Keep that
Peter.
on the down low.
What's that?
We'll keep that on the down low.
Keep that on the down low. That's right. Thank you, Jeanette says. You're welcome, Jeanette. Heck yeah, baby. Back room is it started at a bar in the town I grew up with. It's all about hanging out together and having fun. And no haters, by the way. We love except haters. Oddly enough, we don't like haters. So you clearly aren't. You're a wonderful person, and I appreciate you. Why did my mouse take a shit? Uh-oh. Hold on. Why did my mouse take a shit? There we go.
No, I see it.
There you go. Weird. There's genetic. All right. So yeah, follow us on the Facebook, all that kind of crap. Don't forget also to check out one of our shows that we produce. It's only audio, but they will be making the transition to video very, very soon. They have been guests on this show, Alicia and Kate, Participation Trophy Wives. Exactly what it implies. You know, some people have trophy wives, some people have participation trophy wives. They are fucking hilarious. Exactly, dude. They're great. Oh, I brought a guest in too soon. I'm so excited. I hit the wrong button. Exactly. They're hilarious. They've been on the show. They'll be on again probably in a couple of months or so. Check them out. Participation trophy wives, wherever you get podcasts. And also, of course, as you know, we are simulcasting, which is a fancy term for we're going out to a couple of different places. We're on Facebook and we're on YouTube. If you can watch on YouTube, I like the hits and all that accounts, but whatever. I'm glad you're watching anywhere. But here's something I always forget to mention. Everybody's got a smart TV nowadays. It's 2024.
I know.
Well, of course you don't. Our guest doesn't because he's a Luddite. He hates technology. But it's funny.
Techno.
That's right, techno. But go to your app. YouTube app on your smartphone or download it, watch the show on there, and then you can, because I know people, let's be honest, you like to scroll through your phone. That way you can still be on your phone and you can watch the show on your TV. Boom. And who wouldn't want to see these mugs? Clyde. Yo, Gary, heading to soccer. Have fun. I'll have fun if you break your leg in soccer. I'm kidding, Clyde. Good to see you. That's that. So yeah, watching it. Also, of course, reach out to me. We've got your backroom swag. We got your coasters. We got your stickers. We got your coaster stickers. What? All you got to do is, there you go. Where is it? There you go. Roop's going on and say, hey, here you go. Email me, Gary@backroomnetwork.com, or text me, 610-698-5878. You know what's going to cost you? It's going to cost you fuck all. Roop, what did that coaster cost you?
Absolutely nothing.
Zero. It cost me money to mail it out to your fucking ungrateful asses. Come on, hit that subscribe button. Jesus. Sorry. I'm sorry. So I'm just really excited about tonight's show. That's it. All right. So blah, blah, blah. It's it. Text me, all that stuff. I think that's it. I'm so excited. The upcoming schedule very quickly. We'll take a little bit of a break. Kids, meet your new mom. We're going to get to know Courtney, who was on our last episode. She's going to be our new co-host. The lovely, the gorgeous Courtney Gift Cannon. We're gonna do a deep dive into Courtney like everyone else did in the 80s. I'm kidding, Courtney. What am I? And April 5th, back to the 80s. We're going to be taking a look at the totally awesome decade that was the 80s with our guest, Kim Welch. And hold the phone, late edition, this cat right fucking there is going to be joining us too. The great.
Back to the 80s.
When I think the 80s, I think this guy right here. Because he's 80 years old. I'm kidding. Because that's going to be fun. So check that out. Okay, no more of that bullshit. We today are talking about collecting. Now, you may see an example of a few things behind young Mike Ruppert. He collects and restores video games. Did you restore the jukebox? I didn't really collect jukeboxes, right? You have the one, but you restored it, right?
No, I did not restore that. I bought it working, and I've learned as I go.
There you
know
go.
what I mean? I've changed some things out, tuned it up, that kind of stuff.
And if you've been watching the show last couple of months, your old pal has, because I'm a pudgy middle-aged white guy, so I had to get a tinkering hobby. Well, I've been restoring and collecting the old classic televisions. So that brings us to our guest today, who's somebody that I met in the forums of Facebook, he's a real surly prick son of a bitch, and I fucking love him. You know, they say you can't make friends after a certain age. Well, that's a lie, because I consider this guy, I got my old friend, and I got my new friend, Jason. We're gonna get into that. He's got a long history of working, restoring, collecting. If it's got parts and moves and uses electricity, he can fix it. Hell, he might not even need electricity. I don't know, but please, so let's get into that. And also, viewers, when we get into it, tell us in the chat what you should, because all things welcome. You know, I know everybody's got their own thing, but they like to collect, whatever. Hey, tell us about it, and we'll talk about it. So that's that rigmarole. Let's give a big backroom show welcome to our pal. You know him, you love him. Well, you're gonna. There he is. Boom. Jason Neill. Jason Neill, hold on. Electronics wizard. There you go. Jason, welcome to the back room. What say you? Can you hear me?
Howdy, everybody.
Hey, so you might notice that Jason, behind him, he's got a working television. That's a 1949 GE?
Yeah, General Electric.
There you go. There you go.
Jason. The other shoulder is a mid-50s Westinghouse fan.
There you go. Yes, we'll get into that. Jason is not a one-trick pony, my friend. No. Jason, how the hell are you? How you doing?
I'm good, brother. How you been?
Good, bro. I love that. Jason's from Philly. I love it. He's got this, what's going on? The duck boat in the water. And I fucking love it because it reminds me of my dad who grew up in Philadelphia. Mikey, you're a jukebox hero. Dead-eye checking in. Tee-hee-hee. The Eagle Entertainment for your DJing needs. All right. So before we get into this, Jason, can we quickly say what you do?
Yeah, absolutely.
Please.
I'm the transmitter engineer for WTXF TV Fox 29.
Fox 29 in Philadelphia.
Some of you who are watching this podcast probably remember the days before everybody had cable and you had rabbit ears on top of your TV. You can still get television like that.
Yes.
We are still all on the air. And I make sure that Fox 29 stays on the air.
But digital, like no analog signals, right? You have to have a converter.
Yeah, there's no analog anymore.
Converter box, yeah.
We shut that down in June of 2009.
There you go. So all you Eagles fans, that every Sunday when you're watching the Birds on Fox, you thank this fucking guy over there. There you go. You're welcome. There you go. Jeanette, check it in. My buddy. Aw. Jeanette, please. I'm glad you're here. Please, subscribe.
Jeanette is a huge Eagles fan.
There you go. As is the guy you're talking to my over there. That cat right there loves his birds. Yes, his dad was a football coach.
There you go.
There you go. Yep. So there you go. All right. So Jason, I got in my notes here, but I almost don't need them. I'm so excited. You. I'm not doing it justice at all to say that you restore and collect TVs, radios, etc. Because really, it goes back. You were what? A television repair person when you were 12? Give us like the Reader's Digest version. Go.
I started working in a TV repair shop in February of 1981. 1980.
Okay.
1980 or 81.
Right.
I just walked in. I had a conversation with the owner of the shop. He, I guess I must have impressed him somehow, but he said he needed to talk to my mother first. Mm-hmm. She went and had a conversation with him, and she let me go to work for him a couple of days a week, and he was like a father to me. I stayed with him until I graduated engineering school, and then he pushed me out into the world, and I went into the world of engineering, but continued to work for him occasionally, fixing televisions and helping him out in the shop and stuff like that until he finally retired and shut down in 2000. And then I just went off and continued to be a television engineer.
And what was the name of the shop?
Raiders TV Service.
Raiders in downtown Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
738 East Tioga Street. It's a barber shop now.
It's a barber shop now. Okay, that's
barber shop.
So you were what, 12? And I talked to you. You were basically like a prodigy. You dove into like books and things when you like. Didn't you? You said your mom advocated for like let him read the advanced books because you were flying through them, right?
The library story when I was going to, there was a local library around the corner from the house. And when I had read through all the books that were in the kids section, I started sneaking into the section where the more advanced books were, and I kept getting yelled at by the librarians.
Right.
And I finally said to the librarian, "Look, you're driving me up a wall here. I can't read that crap anymore. I'm way beyond it." He's looking at me, this little kid.
Right.
And he said, "Bring your mother around." So I brought my mother around to the library.
Because you were getting tired of Horton Wires and Outlet, right? You wanted to read.
I didn't want to read Horton plug the radio.
Right. No, you want to learn how it works, right?
Right. So
Dude, I hated Dr. Seuss when I was a kid.
To the library and stand there with my mother, and he looks at her and he says, "Well, what do I do?" She said, "Ask him anything you want to ask him." He said, "Does he really know what he's talking about?" My mother said, "Oh, he talks about diodes and resistors, tubes," and she's waving her hands in the air. And she said, "I have no idea what he's talking about, but he knows what he's talking about."
Please take him off my fucking hands. And there you go.
And the librarian said, "Open a book," and he looked at the book and he said, "Tell me what a superheterodyne is and what it does."
Right.
So I started explaining to him it's superheterodyne radio and how the whole superheterodyne principle. And he's standing there looking at my mother with his mouth hanging open, and my mother is just grinning from ear to fucking ear.
Right.
And she said, "I told you."
There you go.
I don't know what he just said, but
yeah, and that's where that's where it all began.
And, they took my library card and stamped special privileges on it.
There it is. What were you saying about the kids' books and Seuss and shit?
Oh no, I hated Dr. Seuss when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Why would I like it now? It's terrible.
You know what?
I was a little kid.
That's all I read. Exactly. Very quickly, of course, my pal Rupp here. I've known him 40+ years. We met on the mean streets of Boyertown.
Yeah.
Back in the day, and if you know the 19512, you know that's
there were
hilarious.
Mean streets in Boyertown.
Well, they were racist streets a little bit, so yeah.
Especially on the junior high west track.
Yeah, well, true. Yeah, Rube, you actually had a different zip code. You were like a Pottstown address, right?
I was. I think I was 19464.
Oh wow, la-di-da. But how I met Jason, like I said, I want to get into restoring old televisions and stuff. And, you know, as one does nowadays, you go on, like, you know, pages and things, and like Facebook, like, you know, restoring da-da-da. And I was working on one I just got. I didn't really know what I was doing. I got one. I was, you know, you go, "Hey, newbie here, you know, go easy on me." Because let's be honest, a lot of those things are filled with, like, remember the old Jimmy Fallon character on SNL, the IT guy, he's like, "Move," and he's like, and then he fixes everything.
Yeah.
And gets kind of impatient because it's like, "I gotta show you that I know shit." Rube, can you ask if you can fix Tiny Booper? The West Center needs it repaired. I don't know what that is. A tinny booper?
I take a look at it. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'll take a look at it.
Rube, can you ask if you can fix Tiny? I guess that's West Center needs replacing. I have no idea what that is. Peter, oops, I almost said your right name. I'm not sure what that means, but let me know. But anyway, so then.
Oh, teeny bop. Yeah, okay.
Oh, teeny bopper. Okay. So Jason pipes in and he's like, basically, like, whatever I was asking, he was like, "What I recommend," and I'm going to do your voice now. "What I recommend is that you get it in the hands of a qualified person, blah, blah, blah."
What I basically said to him is, "You're going to shoot your eye out."
You can shoot your eye. The restoration version of you shoot your eye, right? So I'm like, this motherfucker, who the fuck? And I click on his profile and I see, hey, he doesn't live all that far from me. And I'm like, and I write back, all right.
He got real nice.
What's
he was
that?
an asshole up to that point, but he got real nice.
Yes, exactly. I remember that. Yeah. Well, but Jason tells the story. He gives me this voice like, "Can you help me?" Which is funny because we never spoke at that point. We were all fucking text, but he's like, "Can you help me?" But what I said, I'm going to tell you my fucking version, is I said, "Oh, okay, I should get into the hands of someone." I go, "Well, you don't live that far. Maybe you could be that someone, right?" Because I'm like, all right, I'm going to call this motherfucker out. So he responds, "DM me." And I did. And now we're pals. And I've been to his house a few times. He's helped me sort of take some sets over the finish line when my very limited knowledge has come up against the wall. And he is a fucking wizard. And I'm proud to call him my pal. So, Jason, you are a wonderful new pal. And I adore you. And I think you're great. And you're a dick, too, by the way.
I finally said to him, "DM me," and he schmoozed me enough for me to say, "DM me." Somebody was pulling my fingernails out.
Yes.
I'm like, "Oh, I'm not another one of these fuckers."
These fucking guys. Oh, so yeah, so Jason is my new pal. He's I like to jokingly refer, and he is, by the way, the thickest skin you could ever fucking. The guy does not get offended, so I call him Shanty Irish Trash, and he
Excellent.
he wears the crown proudly. So yes, sir, Farmington Avenue. There you go, Dan. Exactly.
It's not a crown, it's a tiara.
It's a fucking tiara. Which, and if we're gonna like tell the truth here, you were not what I expected either. You know what I mean? I expected this like Joe Blow 6-pack. I get like this sassy gay man from Philadelphia. I'm like, this guy's fucking awesome. So Jason, seriously, I know I'm busting your balls, but I get very sincere every now and then on the show. But I genuinely whatever treasure our new friendship, and you've been fucking awesome, and you're just a genuine good fucking person. So there you go. Oh, he refurbished a stereo console for me from Jeanette. Oh yeah. Dude, he can't, there's nothing he can't fix. Maybe not a dog. You can't fix a dog, right?
Well, wait a minute. In all fairness to Jeanette knows that because I fixed her family's TV when I was a teenager.
Oh, there you go.
So Jeanette, I've literally known Jeanette my whole life.
That's fucking funny. Fixed her TV when you were a kid. I'd love her. Jeff's parents were like, yeah, fucking let him. Give it a shot, you know?
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, they trusted you.
Well, no, I was a professional by then. I was working.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
so. That's so fucking badass. All right, now Roop, you, as you can, people can tell from the background, you collect and restore arcade video games, like the ones like the consoles, the big ones, and of course you have your jukebox. But you also do like audio stuff too, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I mean that's like my main. I mean, like I fix the games. Like it started like I don't know. My first machine I bought. And then it broke, and then I was like, okay, let me see if I can fix this. And to me, it's kind of like I enjoy working on them.
What was the one you bought?
Oh my gosh, a Super Pac-Man machine.
Okay.
That's long gone. But like now, it's kind of like, you know, I loved playing them as a kid, and then it's like a peek behind the curtain. Like, how does it work?
Right.
So, you know, unlike Jason, I don't know what I'm doing. I just know how to troubleshoot stuff, and figure it out. You know, I don't know what the parts do, but I know if something's not working, I know, oh, it's probably this part.
Like, you know why you need a capacitor, and this needs a new capacitor.
Right. Like, if I can look at a monitor and tell what it's not doing, I'm like, okay, is it getting power? Right. Yes. Okay. Does it have half a picture? Okay. So then it's like I just replace those certain parts. Like I said, I don't know what they're doing, but that's probably what's bad. Right.
Yeah. You're not going to write a paper on it, but if you tinker enough, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's fucking cool. So actually, you said it too. So Jason, I mean, obviously, other than the repairing and like what, how did the TV specifically? How did you get started in the and I know you fixed TVs, but like the idea of really falling in love with the classic TVs and collecting them, like where did that all begin? Was it from your dad or somebody, or?
Well, my father was an electrician,
right?
And he, when I was growing up, he seemed to be. I was just fascinated by him. I followed him everywhere, and it seemed like everything he laid his hands on just started working again.
Wow.
And I wanted to be like my dad. And when I was a kid, wandering around the neighborhood with my red radio flyer wagon in the early 70s, there were a lot of TVs hitting the sidewalk from the 40s and the 50s.
Wow.
And people were just throwing out. And I grew up down the street from the Philco factory. So there was a lot of Philco. I'd run into a lot of General Electric and stuff like that. And I'd haul these things home in a wagon and drag them into the garage. My father was yelling and screaming at me. And
that's
ultimately, he'd shove them in the corner and let me go out there and play with them. And that was what I got started on. And then I started making money at it because I started fixing TVs and radios and record players. And all my friends fixed all their record players when we were growing up. And but I never lost the interest in really old television.
Yeah. What do you think it is, both of you? Why is collecting fun? Like the idea of collecting just something. Like why do people like? I mean, when I promote this, in fact, to go back to the title, I can stop whenever I want. What the hell am I calling this one? Yeah, I can stop at any time. It's because there's a thrill. There's especially if you like bringing something back to life or whatever. I mean, although I guess if you The idea is, I guess, well, hold on. If Midman, what you collect, I'm sure some things are harder to get, like anything else. Some things are rare, some things are easier, and I guess tracking down that elusive thing, like there's a like a rush to that, right?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like I don't necessarily collect as much as I'll find an old machine and I'll, pick it up, restore it, and then sell it or trade it for something else that I really want. So my inventory is constantly like rotating.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not like a job for me. It's just like, I enjoy, it's the thrill of bringing something back to life again. You know what I mean? It's like dead, or it's like completely a basket case, and you rebuild it, and then someone, inevitably, will buy or trade for it.
Yeah.
But there's machines that I want, like that Asteroids. I fixed that. That one I'll never get rid of.
Right.
But there's a lot of it's.
You want a Wizard of War, right? Which spelled WOR. So if anybody has any fucking leads on that, by the way,
let me know.
Actually, perfect timing. Wendy, is Ruppert drinking out of a glass with a Cheeto guy emblem? Actually, what it is, it's a.
No, it's Cool Cat.
There you go, Cool Cat. Who I do not remember. He was an old 70s cartoon guy, I guess you said?
Yeah, 73, I think the mug says.
I don't fucking remember that. I don't remember that dude. There you go.
I was 2.
Yeah. Jason, what do you think? What do you think for you or people, what do you think the thrill is? That shot of adrenaline, that dopamine hit.
Well, I kind of hate to piss on everybody's cornflakes, but there's really not a thrill to it anymore for me. Right. When I first started dragging crap home when I was in my early teens, and as my collecting interest built through my 20s and 30s, and then my moves all over the United States for work and having to move all this crap, and finally getting to the point where I had too much stuff, I'm still very interested in old stuff. I just need less of it, because for me, and I know a lot of people, they collect because they like the way the stuff looks and it's sentimental or nostalgic to them. I was always really more interested, and I always worked on all this old stuff because I was more interested in what made it work,
right,
and how it worked. And I always believe you start at the beginning. When you're learning anything, you start at the beginning. And I was working on modern color televisions and laser disc players and record changers and all that other stuff. Right. And the stuff that was around in the 80s and the 90s, had predecessors, and I wanted to see what was before that and where we came from. And right. But I, like a couple of friends of mine have done, I went down a rabbit hole and I bought anything I could get my hands on.
Right.
Yeah, I know that. I think that's part of it.
Right, stack and reshuffle to make room to get the next thing in the door. And then one day I looked at that and I went, you know what? That is just knocking futz. and it's got.
You know what? That leads in perfectly to another thing I've written down here. That line between collecting and obsessing. Some people, I was talking to somebody about it, and they used, of course, the H word, hoarding. Now, I push back on that. I don't see it as hoarding. Hoarding's different. I think hoarding to me is like people. I might need these 4 mops. Oh, I might need these batteries.
Right.
I knew a guy who had a bunch of telephones that he got from an office that was closing. He's like, well, I could sell these one day. I don't now being unable to stop with the collecting or whatever. That's a little different, don't you think?
I think so.
All right, hoarding? I'm going to tell you now. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There are 17. There are 17 AM radios that I can look at on the shelf up here.
Wow.
Every one is restored. What the fuck am I going to do with 17 AM radios? There is nothing on AM but religion, conservative talk, and Spanish.
Yeah, nothing that you would ever want to listen to.
I'm not interested in it all.
Nothing but a bunch of hosts telling you how you're evil and are going to go to hell for your...
Right,
it's
a bunch of shit. There is one little radio station that I can get during the day that's in Lansdale called WNPV that plays 80s music.
Right.
All the music of our high school years and our junior high school years. And I do listen to that, but I don't need 17 fucking radios to do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's obsessive, sure, but I wouldn't call it hoarding. What do you think, Rube? What's the line between obsessive and collecting or whatever? And by the way, hold on, let me just push back on you. By the way, Mr. Adam Collect, look fucking behind you, you asshole.
It could be a lot worse, right? I could be collecting like Dahmer or Ed Gein, right?
Collecting skin. Yeah, I'm making a lady suit.
I don't really think that collecting becomes a problem until you can't store it all in your house.
You know what? That's not a bad metric.
You have to start paying rent to keep it someplace else.
Right.
You got a fucking problem.
Good point. Rube, pipe in on that.
You need to stop spending money on storage lockers and start spending money on therapy.
Therapy. All right, Rube, what do you think?
When I first started, when I got into like repairing them and restoring things, it was like I was buying any and everything. And then it got to the point where it was like, okay, I have all these projects, and like if it's not something that I'm interested in myself, I really don't want to work on it. I was kind of like, so then it would sit, and I'm like, okay,
I'm right there with you.
Yeah. I definitely.
I got to the point now where I just buy something that even if I have to have some interest in it to fix it.
Jason's been friendly, busting my chops about you're spiraling it's circling the drain, I believe.
Circling the drain.
Because I'll reach out and go, what do you think of this say? Now, to be fair, there are, like exactly what you said, Rube. Like when I first started, I'm like, everyone I saw, I'm like, oh, that's cool. If it's within a certain area, I didn't necessarily go and get them, whatever. But the farthest I went, I went to Jersey to get a TV I'm going to show, but it's fucking beautiful. So, but there are so many now that I just gives a shit because they start to look alike a little bit. If you're talking about like a mid-50s console or something, it's like the basic shape's the same. And there's nothing, unless it's got a cool little feature or something. But you're right. I can definitely see how, and like you said, for me, with the TVs, it's opposed to collecting, Hummel figurines or something. When you start to get that little bit of a raster, that little bit of brightness on the screen, you go, ooh.
Oh yeah,
it's just like you said, like bringing it back to life or some shit.
It's alive.
It's alive.
That's what is now lost on me.
Right.
Yeah,
I've been doing that for so long that it's no challenge anymore.
Right now, the thing you're trying to keep going is your heart, Mister. Came from the fucking doctor today.
Listen, I told the doctor today, he said something about when he cardioverted me. I said, I told you I could do that myself at work. Really shock you in the chest to get your heart back in rhythm. I said, I don't need you to do that. I can fucking do that myself.
I made one at home. Go ahead, Rube, you're saying?
Yeah, so I'm still in that, like the challenge phase for me. Like when I was working on that Asteroids, that's the first time I worked on a vector monitor. Right. And when I put that board in and I came around and turned it on and it worked, it was like that rush of, it's working.
Yeah, and then as soon as you let it out there that you were restoring video games, like how tough was it to fight off the pussy parade that was coming down your street, right? Whoa, ladies, back off, ladies, back off.
Look out.
Yeah. Jeanette, because the items from the past were made indestructible. That's true. If you see some of the sets I have, I came to this realization. I told my wife, I go, I don't think I'm restoring TVs. I think I'm restoring furniture because I really... I do okay with the electronics, but like I said, like we said, Rube and I admit, like we're doing the equivalent of like changing the oil filter, the oil and the air filter, and stuff. But a guy like Jason just does it in his sleep. But I will say I'm pretty goddamn good at cabinets and stuff like that. That's the one. Yeah. And you're not a cabinet guy, right, Jason?
I am not a cabinet guy.
Yeah.
I'm not a cabinet person at all.
Rube, what kind of condition do those? Have you had to do any cabinet work at all, or?
Like all of them that I have in my collection now, I've pretty much redone all the control panels and like the artwork because like 90% of them have like cigarette burns all over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Don't you do a thing where you'll take because you don't want to cannibalize an old arcade cabinet, so you'll take like an old like poker like a video poker one, and then you'll change out the control board to put a joystick and buttons in, and then you'll do one of those, it's a computer, basically like multi-game kind of things, right? Something like that?
So I do those and like sell those a lot. Oh, what's going on here?
With the light. Oh, we're good. You're fine.
So
game's just started up.
Yeah, that's what it is, yeah. That's funny. Come to life.
Yeah, I'll take like a video poker machine and then turn it into like a multi-cade, and then I sell those, and I can pick those up not working for like, under $50, and then I just gut them. A lot of times if I can save the monitor, I will, but a lot of times like those boards, and then I just basically redo the control panel, like Bondo it, put different buttons in it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't do that to like a Pac-Man or something like that. You know what I mean?
Because
like that'd be like turning a TV into a fish tank.
Bingo! Exactly, it's the whole thing. But we'll talk about sellers in a second too. Give your friend one. I forget what that was about, Jen. I'm sorry. 1967. Looked it up. Cool Cat. Well, yeah, the glass. I never heard of that either. Exactly. So, like with good or bad right now, the mid-century modern thing is all the craze. With let's be honest, the ladies on like Etsy type people. I'm just saying, and you get this like, oh, we could turn it into a cat bed or a fish tank, which is a crime against humanity, right, Jason? To turn a TV.
I agree.
Yes, that's really cool.
Listen, I have seen people. As a matter of fact, I couldn't help myself. I saw a girl selling a cabinet that they converted to a cat bed that was a 1956 Admiral color TV. They gutted everything out of it, and it was a 21-inch round and 29 AZ1 chassis. And I'm sitting there looking at this, and I was like, I actually sent them a message, and I said, it's unfortunate that you did what you did, because it was worth more as a whole set than what you did to it. Now you've completely hacked it the fuck apart. I said, do you by any chance still have the picture tube in the chassis? Right. And she's like, no, they were trashed. They couldn't be repaired, so we disposed of them. And
that's an early color set, motherfucker.
Well, this leads me into something, how I got snarky with you when I first met you. Yes. And this is why I wind up getting snarky with these people, because they think they know what they're fucking talking about. They think they know what they're looking at, and they think they had a great fucking idea when really they could have stopped for 5 minutes and done a minimal amount of research and found out that what they really had in their hands was a fucking museum piece.
Yeah. Jason does not suffer fools lightly. That's for fucking sure.
No, I don't.
No. Well, and I was, and let's, this is beautiful. It's all leading into everything. First of all, everybody too, again, pipe in with things that you collect. We're going to show pictures of some of our sets and things like that, but let us know things that you're into. There's no shame here. Whatever you're into, man, that's cool. No you do you, right, Roop?
There's no place for hate.
No place for hate, exactly. Yeah, you're better than man than I. Oh, there you go. You're a better man than I am. I would have called 811 or 911 maybe. What's 811? Is that a typo, or is that a number for a different thing? Maybe he means like people that like destroy this shit. I don't know. Not sure, Richard. I'm not sure what you mean. I think that's what you mean. Exactly. So yes, and there I was going to say, Rube, you mentioned something about the price and things. Is that collecting doesn't have to be expensive, but it can cost you a lot of money. You know what I mean? Do you get what I'm saying?
It doesn't have to be expensive.
Have to be expensive.
But a new collector like you that's now drooling all over everything and running into all of these.
No, I turned out a lot of shit, dude.
This is cool. Oh, look at this. Oh, I gotta have one of them. I gotta have one of them. That's when it starts getting expensive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I know you're busting my balls, but I told you. I
gotta have a 21-inch color set. Oh my god. Oh my god. And that's how you wind up paying $1,000 for something that's worth $100.
Which I would never do, but that's insane.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're gonna get into. Hold on. We're gonna get into sellers until everybody thinks they have the Hope Diamond. The number you call before you dig a hole. Okay. So I get it. You're gonna. I like Richard. Fucking Richard bringing the heat. Very nice.
He is bringing the heat.
That's fucking great.
I don't get it.
So yeah, he's gonna. I think he means he's gonna bury somebody. He's gonna dig a hole, maybe because people destroy. Yeah, I think you know what. If that's not what he meant, I'm gonna say that's what you meant because that's fucking hilarious. If that's what you meant. So yeah. So it doesn't have to be like some of these sets and things. Depends on that, and this will lead directly into it. Talking about people that sell these things because you gotta buy it somewhere, right? So, of course, nowadays, social media and stuff, I guess back in the day, well, I don't know. I don't know what they did. Fucking classifieds or groups and things. Jason, you're 100 years old. How did one come across to find things pre-internet?
Oh, thrift stores.
Thrift stores.
Trash. I used to go out when I was in my teens and early 20s. Right. Our trash day in our neighborhood was Monday, and on the other side of Kensington Avenue, it was Thursday. And I'd get on my bike at about 9 o'clock at night and ride through the neighborhood on my bicycle.
Wow.
Right.
And pick shit up and drag it home.
Really helps living in the city then.
And not necessarily old stuff either.
Right.
a number of television sets that we had in our living room and used were color sets that I picked out of the trash, brought home and fixed, and we used them until I came home with something better.
Wow.
We didn't have a lot of money. I grew up in a I wouldn't say lower middle. I would just say low class family.
Right.
So
shanty Irish trash. Just fucking say it, dude. Right. Just fucking say it. You shamrock
Jason.
Motherfucker.
As my grandmother used to say, we didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out.
That was one of my dad's favorite expressions. Absolutely. So of course, same thing. You find yours on like the social media and shit.
Yeah. First off, I got to ask Jason, when you said you lived near Philco, right? Yeah. Did you guys go like dumpster diving there? Like,
oh, good question.
Philco was closed by 1974. I was 7 years old.
And
okay.
I wasn't allowed near that place. My parents used to say to me, "Don't you go up there," because they knew I'd go up there and start wandering the factory and everything else.
Come home with half the TV.
I would have found my way into that fucking factory, and they'd have found me going along a fucking production line. Who's
this kid trapping fucking CRTs with his fucking bike? Dan Andy checking in.
Rider wagon.
What's up, Cat House? Is that
Andy?
Is that his personal shout out to you?
Yeah, it is.
What's up, Cat House? There you go. His brain is a sponge, as you can tell. Talking about Jackson, absolutely. It's I call him like TV Rain Man. It's like I'll show him a TV. I'm like, hey, I saw this. He's like, well, that's a 1957 Philco XR9. It's got this and that. An interesting feature about that one is, and I'm like, and I'm interested in shit.
But here's the thing. I know that because I worked on that stuff.
That's the thing. Like we're going to show pictures, but the thousands and thousands of sets that came your way. I mean, you wouldn't, you can never know the number. So let's talk about sellers. People, it's one thing to get it. You got to get it from somebody. Now, let me ask you guys. Roop, we'll start with you. Who do you think is worse to buy from? Like fellow collectors or that guy? And it's a little different for you because the arcade games and things, but I guess maybe the audio gear, and or that guy who's like cleaning out his aunt's house and finds an old TV or an old stereo or something, who in Jason's words thinks he found a Hope Diamond and he thinks he's gonna fucking retire, right? So who in your experience who do you think is worse?
I would say so like I would do like the Craigslist and the Facebook Marketplace, and then like most of the times I deal with other collectors, because if you deal with people like, it's like you said, someone thinks they have the Hope Diamond, and it's like, okay, dude, it's really not worth that much money. Right. And you're never going to talk them down, and it's just going to sit there forever. Or sometimes you fall into that where, someone has like a really valuable machine and it's like $50, come get it out of my house, and those things are like snapped up instantly.
Do you ever feel like you're taking advantage of someone that's selling it like dirt fucking cheap? You go,
no, because I never get those, because I have like a job and a life, and I don't, you know what I mean? I don't like something pops up and I'm like, oh, well, that's going to be gone by the end of the day. And it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess it depends. But what was I going to say? Oh, right.
But I don't.
Old. Here's the thing too about anything in life. Old doesn't necessarily mean valuable. There's different kinds of valuable.
But there's only two that exist.
Yeah. That was a recent one that came up.
Just posted on eBay.
I saw that.
We were making fun of this all over the TV boards. Posted a picture of a fairly common 7-inch TV set from the late 1940s. And the guy's like, there's only two known to exist. And he's got like a price tag of $7,000 on it. I'm like, dude.
Unreal.
You sleep with your face in the pillow at night, you don't get enough oxygen. because this is, I don't know where he came up with this. There's only two in existence. It's like, I don't know where people come up with their facts.
Yeah.
I told you stories. I was on a stereo service board. You'll appreciate this, Roop.
Right.
And somebody went on this whole diatribe about Magnavox and why they did this and why they designed that, and why they made this way about their console stereos. And I worked for Magnavox for the first 20 years. Brader's TV was a Magnavox service shop. And when I got done reading this guy's explanation, I actually responded with, and what part of your asshole did you pull that bullshit out of?
What did he say?
he was like, well, you don't have to be. And I said, I worked for Magnavox for 20 years, and I have never heard a bigger line of bullshit.
Fucking horseshit, motherfucker.
Wow.
And I really went into this guy, and I ended what I had to say with, if you don't know what you're talking about, don't say anything.
Exactly.
Shut the fucking mouth.
There are people, and by the way,
he was like, oh, you don't have to be so hard. And I said, well, if you weren't trying to speak with authority about something you obviously don't know a fucking thing about,
Right.
Yo, what did we learn? Exactly.
Right.
I have found mostly.
I think that blocked me.
What's that? He blocked you?
Blocked.
Oh, believe me, as soon as this is over, I'm fucking Jason Neill. Block you, block. I'm kidding.
I still got your TV.
Hey, so that's right, you do. But I have found, in my limited experience, it's usually you're right. A collector and people that are into it are a little easier to deal with.
Yeah.
Because the guy who found an old TV at his aunt's house, like we said, he thinks because it's old. And I've seen listings, they'll say things like, it's just a lot. They'll go, it doesn't work. Like, people freak out if you turn old TV on too. Like, you'll kill it if you turn it on. Like, it depends.
You could do some damage.
You could do some damage. You're right, but they're like, I don't know if it works, but it probably does. Hey, cool. They'll say things like probably works. They go, you know what probably works means? It fucking doesn't.
No.
Until you know something works. And they'll say things. I've seen people say stuff like, hey, you know what? Could be a really cool conversation piece. And I'm like, yeah, I'll talk about how some asshole on Facebook thinks the fucking common TV set is worth 6,000 fucking pounds. Oh, you're right. I'm talking about it. Hey, good for you, you fucking prick.
The worst thing.
Go ahead.
It's like, I see listings where it's like, oh, it's probably just a fuse. Well, if it's just a fuse, then fix it, asshole, and sell it for double the price.
Fucking fuse it, plug it in, see what it does.
Show me that it works. Exactly.
Well, see, this is the other thing too. When these assholes come up with, oh, it works, or oh, it worked 20 years ago when we put it in the attic, I usually respond with, your definition of works and my definition of works are radically different.
Yes, they'll take a TV that shows, a raster, which is just, the light.
It shows a raster,
and they'll call it working. It doesn't mean it works. And I'll give you a perfect example leading into this. There's a few that stick out. You know what I mean? You just see these people like whatever. There's a TV. And by the way, I hope this is interesting to people. I know we're geeking out a little bit, but again, tell us the things you collect, and we'll talk about that too. But there was a guy selling a pretty common hot point TV. I have a version of one. I'll show it. And he was in terrible condition, cosmetically and everything. He was asking almost $500 for it, plus almost $200 shipping, so $700. Hold the phone. It didn't have a tuner. Now, you don't have to know anything about fucking TVs. Let me put it this way. If you don't have a tuner, you don't have a TV. Most times when you hook a VCR or something up into it.
It's a box of parts.
Yes, it's a box of parts. It's not a TV anymore. This motherfucker wanted $700 for a thing that was never going to be a television because it had no you couldn't put a signal in it. And it's like, are you out of your fucking mind? So I had to vent. I had to get that fucking out of my system, motherfucker. So old doesn't necessarily mean expensive and valuable, right? Exactly.
Right.
And there's a lot of people that pop up on Facebook in the collector forums, and you may have noticed this too, that are just looking for value. They say, oh, I found this or that, or I acquired this or that, and I'm looking to see how much it is. Because they want to make.
I found this. I can't find a date on it. What's it worth?
Right, and what I typically turn around and say, it's worth what somebody will pay for it, but it's not particularly desirable or particularly valuable, and you are not going to retire early.
Anything is only ever worth the most expensive, a Honus Wagner fucking baseball card, one of the most expensive. It's a piece of cardboard. It's just what someone else is willing to fucking pay for it. Which is funny, because we're going to very quickly, Jason might have a hard out, so you might not be here for this, but we're going to quickly go through things that used to kind of be the fad to collect, but are worth shit nowadays. But all right, so I'm going to go and I'm going to show our personal photos of the things. I'm going to start with me, then we'll do Ruben, and then we'll end with Jason. All right, so this is, we have a couple of photos. So this, boom, right there. This is some of my sets.
Gorgeous.
Oh, I didn't mean to go back to that one. This is an Admiral. This is a 1949. It's the very first TV that I collected. A woman was selling it for like $75 fucking dollars. The sides, it had been stored, I guess, in the basement, and the sides were kind of coming up, because it's just a veneer. So the sides were kind of bowing up, and I just wound up taking the sides off, and I put fresh walnut plywood on it, like 1/4-inch plywood, and sanded it, restained it, all that. These are decals that someone sells. That's it. So because it was kind of fucked up and worn off, so they sold all these, like, it's got the controls and all that. And this is so you never forget your first, wink. And this is a Westinghouse. It's a 17-inch 1951. I didn't have to do a whole lot to it. It's still not technically done. There's a little tweak in the horizontal we got to fix, but the cabinet was in pretty good shape. There's this stuff called Restore Finish. It's not quite a stain. It's not quite, you sort of put it on and it kind of covers scratches and things. So it's a old Westinghouse. I like this one. And up top there's a pretty common collector set. It's a Admiral 19A11. Jason, I'm sure you put your hands on tons of these.
I showed you mine in the back.
That's right. Yes. It's a 49. I bought it locally from a guy again for like, I don't know, $90 or some shit. And it didn't take a ton of work to put into it. This is Bakelite. We were talking about that. It's like a old-timey plastic. Well, they still make things out of Bakelite, but they make like panhandles now out of Bakelite and shit. I don't know.
Electrical equipment too.
What's that?
Electrical equipment too, circuit breakers.
Was that right? Oh, there you go. That's right. Yeah. And old telephones, I think, used to be Bakelite too. And then there's and this was for Christmas, by the way. It turns out vintage TVs make freaking awesome displays. It just fits the mood of Christmas, This is the same sets. This is I added one here. This is we'll get a couple of pictures of this guy. This is the Hot Point. This is the one I drove to Jersey for. It's a 1956 17-inch. It's a portable that weighs about 33 fucking pounds. But I just wanted to show that these do in fact work. I fed a little Bob's Burgers into it. So there's that one. This is one I picked up a few months ago. It is it's a Sylvania Halo 21-inch. They call it a Halo. Ready? Because this bezel lights up. Now, it isn't working yet. We have to, it's been mostly recapped. My pal Jason there has to help me do a couple of final tweaks on it. And this, unfortunately, it had been in some water. So this is gone. This is the grill cover. You can see there's speakers behind it. I got the logo off. I took the cloth off and I bought new. I haven't redone the cloth yet, but I have some. I bought some vintage cloth that I'm going to restore with it when the TV is done. It's cool as shit, right?
Awesome. That lightning bolt is cool.
Yes, it is pretty cool. I made sure I saved that, and I will be putting that back on when it's finished and restored.
What lights up the halo?
What's that?
What lights up the halo?
A fluorescent tube.
Yes, there's a tube in there. Yep.
Yeah, runs all the way around it, or
just here. It's got a separate, basically a dimmer switch too that you can adjust the brightness of it. Wow. I've not had it on yet. I've not plugged it in because there's a thing that I don't want to mess up on it. This is the this is a really cool one. This is the GE801 combo TV AM radio. This one I bought locally too for, I don't know, not that much money. It had a bunch of dings and things in it. I just quickly went over it with like a furniture pencil, and it's amazing what a difference it makes. This one is also in the middle of being restored. My pal Jason there said, he's like, don't do too much on it. That's a pretty, it's just, they don't make many of those. You don't make any of these anymore. There aren't too many around, and he wanted to give it a proper restoration, so we're going to sort of be doing that one together.
Cool.
I don't know if you're aware of this, Garrett, but that set is based on General Electric's pre-war designs.
Is that right?
Yes, and looks actually a lot like one of their pre-war sets.
Okay. Yeah, this is one of their first post-war sets, very early post-war. The decals, these are all original. Look how amazing they are. It helps having doors. This thing has doors, by the way, so of course it shuts. So it's protected from the elements. It's inside a house, but so I really, really love this one. And I think I have one more. Oh, right. This is the Hot Point. This is the side of it. I bought this in Jersey. I repainted. I'd say it was more green, but it had scratches and it was all dinged up. I repainted it. I taped it off. We did the white. I taped it off. It was a little greener. I went a little bluer with this one. And luckily, since it's an enamel paint, then I took some acrylic paint and filled in the numbers and then just wiped it off. That's how I got, because these are what do you call it? Sunken in or whatever. So luckily, there you go. Yes. And just to show you, this is the last picture for me, that these aren't just to look at. It was the Monday Night Football Eagles-Giants game. Because I keep these TVs right off of the living room. My wife was watching something. I'm like, I'm going to watch the Eagles game. And I actually watched the Eagles game. So they do work. These are actually, I put an Apple TV into it. And then Apple TV has the YouTube TV app, whatever. So I watched the fucking game. Not a game that Jason did, though. This is ABC. So, quickly, remember the old refrigerator?
That's great.
Oh, hold on. This is funny. Wendy, remember the old refrigerator in the Palace? The Palace was our pal's garage that we used to hang out in. They would hide it and then, you would hide it and then talk. That was old. Yeah, that wasn't a whole fucking fridge.
Man.
Yeah, I'm surprised nobody died in that. You guys made it into a beer tap out the side. That's exactly right. We drilled a hole in, made a kegerator out of it. Wow, a portable, Fetterman says. Exactly. What's up, Andy? Exactly. A 33-pound portable. All right, so let's go. Again, we're going to fire these out because I don't want to keep my pal Jason. He's got an appointment with his bed. Very quickly, we are almost done, pal, I swear. Let's go to Roops. There you go. Roop. There you go. OG. Fucking Space Invaders. Look at that. Look at that. It is absolutely gorgeous.
Yes. So
how did you get this one? Quickly.
Okay, so I got it. Wasn't working. It was working intermittently. It was just loose connections. Reflowed some solder. The monitor. So that one's really cool. So the monitor is down in the bottom of the cabinet, and the video feed is reversed. So there's a mirror and black lights and cardboard and a plastic moon and the color. The monitor is a black and white composite monitor, and all those colors are just gels that are laid on the monitor.
Oh my god, it's fucking genius.
So so again, peek behind the curtain there, the way that one works is it's so cool.
By the way, let me just say about especially with old TVs and stuff, it's a miracle. I don't care. It's alien technology. By the way, if you take a peek over here, you might notice something. What? What's that? Is that a backroom show coaster? You goddamn fucking right it is. All right, so next up, look at this beautiful pinball machine. Look at this.
Oh.
Look at this beautiful pinball. I love the old timey, the number. Look at that.
So that's probably there's no circuit boards in that, obviously. That's all electromechanical. So it's all relays and solenoids. And so, the key to those is you have to play them regularly or they just stop working.
Really?
Find up.
Yeah, they just
like you had too much cheese. They just fucking bind it the fuck up, right?
So I'll even if I'm not going to play out every once in a while, I'll just come down, fire on a couple games, and just launch the balls. And
I don't know. Is he supposed to be some old timey robot? I love how he has a tube, a vacuum tube coming out of his head, because that was going to be the future. The future is vacuum tubes. Yes, I love this one too. On the down below, it's like, hey, flipper buttons on the side. In case you didn't know, you couldn't figure it out.
Yeah. I think that's a 74. I think that's
really.
From. I've had that for a while.
Jason, it's gorgeous, right?
I love it.
Yeah, that is fucking gorgeous.
Pinball's great.
I'm gonna come over and play that. Next up, old school again.
Yeah, asteroids.
Look at that.
So that one, again, nothing was working. It was playing blind, which means I had sound, but no picture. So I took the sound. I took the board, and I had a guy that does the logic board work for me because I'm not real good with replacing components on those. I mean, I can replace the components. I'm just not good at troubleshooting them.
I got you.
So I got it back. I plugged it in, and then I had half a monitor that was jumbled. So I took the deflection board off, reflowed some solder, fixed some things, and it worked. And then the control panel I redid, put new buttons, leaf switch buttons, new. Because that one was cigarette burns everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
By the way, let's quickly go here with the high scores. Oh, look, Roop. Look, 64, number one. Boy, big fucking drop off to 10th place there, wasn't it?
Yeah,
From
well,
64, almost 65,000 to 21. Huh? Not. I noticed no kids. Do your kids play these?
They do. If you look in the upper left-hand corner of that picture, there's a high score chart. I think Ben has the high score on that.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah, it's you can't see it. It's out of the picture.
There it is. Right there.
But my kids got me oh yeah, look, Ben Roop, see that?
Yep.
My kids got me a high score save kit for that one for Christmas, and basically you take the CPU off the daughter board, and you plug this extra PC or this other board in that it's like saves the high score.
Keep your score. That's fucking, because I bet you can power it down. Yeah. Now this one you don't have anymore, but you said you traded this for something else you wanted. You told me.
Yes, Sprint 2. So I bought that from a guy who was completely frustrated, couldn't get it to work. He said he sent the board out, and every time he would plug it in, it would just reset. The monitor was working. So he dropped it off. He delivered it to my house. I took it in the basement. I had it working within a day. There was some weird, I looked at the schematics, and there was some weird extra wire on the coin switches. Normally the micro switches, it's like normally open, normally closed. There was an extra wire. The wire was disconnected. I connected the wire and it fired right up.
Wow. By the way, to select track. Okay, yeah. Listen, you kids, because we totally have young kids watching this. Look at those. My God, I feel like I'm at the racetrack. That's amazing. Look at that.
Very realistic.
My God. Hold on. Rube, is this pictures of your day at the track? That's amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
So what did you wind up getting for this then? You said you traded it for
I sold that and bought the jukebox.
There you go. Well, actually, speaking of that, that is the last thing here. That's why I saved it for last. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. What year is that, Roop?
71 Rockola. 1971 Rockola 444.
Now, I don't know anybody out. If your dad took you out drinking for the first time to like a Legion or VFW, you fucking saw this goddamn one of these jukeboxes there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, they're great, but they beat the tar out of records. So like, I don't put real good 45s in there because like the tracking force, because it's like meant for like drunk people falling into it. You know what I mean?
Good fucking point.
So they just eat up the records, and the records are in like this metal carousel that spins. So it just kind of trashes the records.
Fucking badass, dude. I love that. All right. Now, my man, Jason, we're going to bring it home with him. Again, not going to lie to you, almost underwhelming. And a good way. They're beautiful sets, but my God, he's done so many. Oh, hang on. Very quickly, Fetterman. Roop, are you a Space Invaders master?
I'm okay.
Not bad. Does that have the red button coin return?
It does not.
No. Okay.
It's an original. It's a first run. It actually has a glass bezel. After the first run, they changed them to plastic because people were punching them and shattering them.
Oh, yeah. There were some.
So that one has glass.
There were some old TVs. I don't think they did very many. Jason sure knows the years, whatever. That same thing. It was a project. It was a mirror. The CRT would be facing down, and then they would like why? I don't really get the point of that because you're gonna lose illumination, but.
Well, up until 1950, that was the only way to get a picture bigger than 12 inches.
Oh, of course, it magnifies it.
So Philco made a projection set. RCA made a line of projection sets. Emerson, Doom. I don't think Dumont ever made a projection set, but I know Emerson, Philco, RCA, a couple others.
Right. I bet they weighed a fucking ton too.
Yeah, they did. I once had one of Philco's first projection sets, and it was very cool. Had a stainless steel plate and a lid that flipped up. And when you looked down inside, it had a bucket with a little 4-inch CRT in it and a bunch of mirrors and corrector lenses in it.
Right.
Shined into the bucket, came past the CRT out of the corrector lens onto a mirror in the front of the cabinet and up onto the screen. It was a front
That's
projector.
amazing. Peter Felterbush checking it again. Rube, D-Run would smoke those scores. I got you. Darren Johnson, that's a Boyertown joke for you right there.
Dude, he's a legend. That
big,
dude was
big fat wad of gums bleeding.
Yeah, I remember he was chewing so much gums, his like gums were bleeding.
Yeah. And that was always a fun thing too, by the way, when you were a kid. Specifically in the 80s, finding the places, because it wasn't just arcades. Pizza Shop had one.
Right.
Weird things, I don't know, you go.
Convenience stores had
Convenience stores, anything. Like fuck it, we'll make extra money on this. I spent hours playing Sprint at Zern's. Yeah, that's right. I do remember them having that driving game. That's right. I was referring to the pinball machine with the, I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you meant. Fetterman. Anyway, so yes. So quickly, let's go to Jason's sets. These were in the lobby of where you work at the station, right?
Yes, they were at the studio at 4th and Market in the lobby. That was the first thing everybody saw when they came in. They recently decided that they didn't want them there anymore, so they took them and sold them.
Yeah, I almost got a hold of this RCA from you, but this actually I think was one of the other pictures you sent, but I didn't include it because I figured we already see it. These are like foldable legs, right? They fold up. It almost looks like a TV tray.
It was a stand, a foldable stand, and that set that your mouse is in front of. Rick and I used that in our bedroom for about a year.
Really?
Yeah.
The one here, the one with but it's like is this a 17er or whatever?
No, it was a 21-inch Silvertone.
Oh, beautiful.
Sears Silvertone.
I got you. Now, very quickly about I'm going to use air quotes old TVs. This is what I consider. Let me go to the floor again. This is what I consider like a TV we basically kind of grew up in. I have zero interest in these.
Well,
zero interest in anything because it just reminds me of like watching TV as a kid, and I like the old stuff, but I don't know.
Well, I will tell you this: that set that says the Griot on it,
right? The wooden
was
cabinet.
The last black and white console television made.
Wow!
July of 1981.
They I read something which goes to show how old we are. I don't think color took over black and white till maybe 68, maybe 70.
The sales of color sets did not surpass the sale of black and white sets until 1974.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
That's insane. That's fucking insane. All right, so moving on. Again, not just TVs. Look at that beautiful. I gotta get a close up on that one. Look at that fucking radio. I love this. I saw this
that belonged to a friend of mine, Mike, and I restored it for him for I don't know, probably 25 or 30 years ago when there was still stuff to listen to on the AM band.
Yeah.
And Mike's an antique dealer, and he sells lots of Danish modern furniture. And one day we were doing a flea market together, and he brought that out, put it on the table, and he goes, "Yeah, it stopped working, and there's nothing to listen to on it anymore." So I bought it off him for $20. Brought it home, cleaned it up, got it working again. And
I showed that to Denise last night, and she's like, "That is so cool." She said, "This looks like tic-tac-toe, except no X's." I'm like, yeah, it kind of does.
Well, the front is molded plastic.
Yeah.
And the rest of the body is formed wood, and obviously the handle is lucite.
Wow, I was going to say this. I was going to say, is that a handle or a fuse sitting on top of it? Wow,
that's the handle.
Lucite, yeah, clear plastic.
And it lifts up. It pulls up.
Okay, comes out of the. All right, this one, beautiful, fucking emerald radio, beautiful. Jade, I guess.
That is called Catalan, and there's a story that you'll both appreciate about that, since this was a subject we touched on earlier. Do you ever get great deals on stuff? That was posted for sale on Craigslist. Somebody was cleaning out a house in Havertown because the woman was going into senior living. And they had it posted for $250. And I sent the woman a message and I said, "You've greatly undervalued that radio." And she responded immediately with, "We know what it's worth. We need to get rid of it." And I said, "Fine, I'll be right over to buy it," because they typically sell for between, I would say, $700 and $900.
Wow. When did FM become more standard?
FM as the shift from away from AM radio stations to FM being dominant started happening in the mid 70s.
That's the 70s. Wow, Jesus. That's why like the combo TV. There's no. It's everything you buy that's either like a combo or an old radio. There's no FM. It's all AM.
Well, there were FM radios around then, but there was most FM radio stations were owned by AM radio stations. It was a group. It was usually like in Philadelphia, KYW, AM, FM, and TV.
Right. Okay.
They were all owned by Westinghouse.
KYW News Radio. Rube, sing it with me. 1060.
The FM station just simulcast whatever was on the AM.
Oh, that's funny. There you go. Just listen. Yeah. All right. Next up, I don't know why you sent me this, but it's cool as shit. It's sold
That
remote
is
control.
for the Magnavox color stereo theater that was in my living room. It's from 1965.
Oh, is that you? Yeah, I have that picture. Look at that. I love the station select or just is that literally just like on and off volume? Like you can't adjust it with this, can you?
Yeah, when you turn it on, it comes on at full volume or whatever the volume control in the stereo is set to.
Right.
Hit it again, it goes down 1/3. Hit it again, it goes down 1/3 again. Hit it the third time, and this unit shuts off.
Oh, okay.
What does that work on? Because there's no way that's like standard.
Hold on. Let me jump in. Is this one of those ones that works on the sound, the clinking?
It's an ultrasonic, yes, and it doesn't click.
This is cool. Explain that.
It's an airbag and 2 dog whistles. And when you press the button, it compresses the airbag, and when you push the button down far enough, it presses a release key on the top of a dog whistle that lets the air rush out, and that's what the set picks up.
Weren't there some that had little metal rods and they were tuned to a very specific? That's why people said if you jiggled your keys, you could change the channel. Whatever.
Oh, but this one, I'll tell you a funny story. When we had that Magnavox Color Theater in the living room, we went on vacation, and my cousin was here watching the dog, and she called us up all freaked out because she took the spare key and unlocked the door to the side porch, and when she threw the key back up on the mantle, it turned the TV on.
That's
great.
Fucking
great.
Dude, I'm totally geeking out on this stuff.
Dude,
this is great. Like that's why I love fixing this kind of stuff, man. It's like stuff like that. It's like, it's just
dude,
awesome.
Seriously, I would stare at this thing probably for hours. It's just so interesting to look at.
Lost art, man.
Now here we get into the predictors. You know, if you gotta collect a TV, everybody goes gaga about the predictors. They're okay. I mean, there's one specific one I'm going to show.
That was actually not my set. That was one that I let some other schmuck talk me into fixing.
Right. Now this is
that's mine.
That's yours. That's your partner's, right?
That's the one that Rick picked up in Connecticut.
Yeah. That's bar. Is that no? It's not the one they call the barber pole, is it?
That's a Philco Continental. That's the rarest of all the predictors.
The Continental. Look at that. Now, what is pretty cool is people think space age because of the thing. Now, there were some of these predictors, different models. You could actually, it had an umbilical cord. You could separate the screen. You could put like the
tandem.
You can put it wherever you want it, and then have like the controls other part of it was all. It looked like a long piece of taffy.
Keep the set beside your chair. Put the picture anywhere.
Oh, that's their slogan. That's fucking great. Now this one, this is the last TV. This is the one. Again, I don't get as gaga about these like people do, but he's got this one, and I hope I'm in the will for this one because this is it's a little dark, but this is the Siesta. I think this is amazing because a lot of them have wood. This is metal. Right, and a little bit of plastic. It's got not only the changer here, it's got a clock. See the clock right there?
It'll turn it on or turn it off.
Yeah, look at that. Now, is it a clock or a timer?
Time.
It is a clock and a timer. It will turn the set on or turn the set off.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, my God, I want this. How much? How much do you want for this beautiful set?
No.
You son of a bitch.
Is that like the first ever sleep timer?
Nah, they made timers before that were add-ons. You set them on top of the TV, plug the TV into them.
Oh, that's pretty funny. Basically, it's just like, using a
light timer.
Plug in your lights now. You turn it off, yeah.
It's a Telechron clock movement. Same used in every clock radio made in the 50s.
Yeah, duh, Rube.
Yeah, what
right.
am I thinking?
And now, this one, I would have bust his balls about. When he first told me he collected these, I was like, what? And then you showed me a few, and I'm like, okay, I kind of get it. Fucking fans. You're into fans. Look at that.
Yes.
That's a beautiful fucking...
That says AMC on it, but that is actually made by a company that you've all heard of. It's a Hunter.
Oh, sure.
It's a late 1960s Hunter box fan. I bought that off a lady for $10. It is in absolutely flawless condition. There is not a mark on that thing.
And I'll say this. Have you gone to try to find a fan lately? All you get is the cheap crap put together plastic ones. These are the ones that like our grandmothers gave us and we put it in. Well, the next one, this is the last picture. Of course, window fan. This shit'll keep you fucking cool. Look at that shit.
That cools ass in the summertime.
Fuck yeah, it does. Look at that.
And that's Grandmom's original. She bought that in 1957.
Look at that. I love that. You know what? I was busting your chops about it, and then you showed me a few. I'm like, you know what? I do appreciate the fucking the artistry of the whatever, the design, I guess. So, all right, we're gonna do one more quick thing. If you want to go, I know you got to skedaddle. I was gonna quickly. I'm gonna rapid fire this. It won't be long at all. Let me hit out of here. It's basically something. We're not even gonna stop and talk about it. We're just gonna show. I found this thing. Time for a garage sale. We talked about this. It's things that part of the like fads that people are like. Oh, it used to be worth something, and now it's. Who gives a shit? Now, I would put one little caveat on this. Who gives a shit what they say? If it brings you joy and makes you happy, fucking go for it. Now, I think the point is, it's not all about money. People are like, oh, because some of the things say, I'm not going to read all the fucking text. We're just going to fire a couple out. But it's like, oh, you know, if you're looking to cash in, like kind of like what Jason did earlier, like this isn't the thing. Like, who gives a shit? It's not about fucking value. It's about.
But none of it is.
It's not about money value. It's about.
Video games aren't, TVs aren't, radios aren't, stereos aren't.
Yeah.
I've told you before, I have never made a fucking nickel on almost everything I've ever had pass through my hands.
Yeah, if you think that you're gonna collect things, like fix them up and like sell them and like start making money, no, because guy, news for you.
Yeah, you're gonna buy it whole. You're gonna buy it at retail and sell it wholesale.
Capacitors are expensive, goddammit. All right, so of course, Beanie Babies, that was a thing for a while. Oh, Ruben, this one might kill you. The majority of vinyl records, of course, showing Kiss there.
Oh, now see, this is bullshit.
Well, they say depending on
record store now and see what they're selling used vinyl.
It's
that's true.
Crazy.
That's why it says the majority of vinyl, maybe. Yeah.
The majority of vinyl records are going for insane money.
Yeah, it's kind of who knows, this may have been a couple years old. So anyway, so Lumer Walk Walk collector plates. Who gives a shit? Pez. I never got this one. Pez dispensers. You know, you do you, but whatever. I don't really get it.
Well, women put Xanax in them now.
Oh, I'm just having a candy. Come on, Tyler.
I shouldn't say women. They're Xanax dispensers now. They're not Pez.
Yeah, for the soccer moms. Be honest. Good job, Tyler. We're gonna stop at Dairy Queen on the way home.
Listen there. I know just as many men that are popping those fucking things.
Fair enough. All right, so I don't get that. Pandora Charms, never get into that. Newer Star Wars toys, that's cool. This one, I don't get. And my buddy Jen Clark, who I love you, if you're watching, I know you're an Anglophile. I don't get the obsession with the royal family stuff. I just don't get it. Anybody that's like, ooh, I have to pay attention to the news if there was a wedding or a death, I go, I don't know, just wait till July 4th. We make a big fucking deal out of shaking off those fucking assholes, right? Gives a shit about royal... Roop, do you give a fuck about royal family stuff?
I don't. When I first saw that picture, I didn't know what it was for. I thought it was someone collecting old ladies holding mugs.
Well, you know who the old lady looks like. Remember Throw Mama from the Train?
Oh, and her name was Anne Bancroft, I think her name is.
Bring me
I forget what it was. Yeah, that's right. And some, that's right. She was Mama Fratelli in the Goonies. That's right. New comic books. Never got into them. Stamps. Yeah, it basically says there's a few every now and then. You get those weird ones, but never get into it. But again, you do you. Pogs. Right. That was a thing for about a week, right?
Yeah.
I don't get that. Antique silverware. Fucking melt it down and fucking, make...
I was going to say, that shit's worth more as scrap than it is.
Melt it down, right?
They look like a bunch of Coke spoons.
I mean, what? How, I wouldn't know. What are you talking about? What? Porcelain dolls. Creepy as fuck, let's be honest. Model train sets. Will not bust balls here. I fucking love this. I never had one, but Rube, you do a little thing every Christmas, right?
Yeah, I set up stuff every Christmas.
Yeah,
like my wife and I would buy like a train, like a piece every year and add to it. It's fun.
Yeah, no, I think model trains are pretty badass. Actually, I'm cool with that. Barbie dolls, actually, with the movie coming out, it might be the time to cash in on those. Vintage Playboy magazines. Yeah, if you can get the pages apart. Wink, wink, wink. What? So yeah, they don't even print anymore.
And women, of course, enjoyed sitting there reading it over their boyfriends or husbands.
Yeah, right, well, exactly. It's Hugh Hefner. It's the founder. You're right.
I didn't recognize him without the robe on.
Without the robe, dude. Let's be honest here, okay? Because it's again, we are your one-stop shop for dick and fart jokes here in the Backroom Show. He's looking at a girl, and this girl here, fucking big afro in her fucking pants right there. You just know that fucking thing. I'm just saying, need a weed whacker to get through it. Precious Memories. These are creepy. They're just the cheapo version of the Hummels. Look how creepy they are.
That is creepy.
Cabbage Patch dolls. I'm going to keep. They're going to be worth so much money. Whatever you do, you baseball cards. We all did that. Funko figurines. Okay, those are relatively new. Your pal Gary has.
You know, the funny thing is, though,
Hold on, look at this. Doc and Marty. Boom. Back to the Future.
There is among the groups, the collectors groups for those things, there's people looking at those and saying they have no value, but among the collectors, yes, they have value.
That's a good point.
The same thing could be said about my TVs. My father, I swear to God, my father used to look at all these old TV sets and he'd go, more junk. And until one day somebody was walking out of the basement with a piece of junk they bought off of me for $1,900 fucking dollars.
Oh.
And then I waved the money under my father's nose and I said, "What was that about? More junk again?"
What was that, asshole? Yeah. Very quickly, Jeanette. I have a box of old Playboy books that my father had. Well, there you go. I'll buy the Barbie betting off of you. Precious moments. Yes, exactly, Barb. Hi, Barb. Oh, love you, Barb. By the way, you're my favorite viewer. Yeah, you heard me. It's everybody else. Fucking right. I love Barb. Hummels. There you go. Hummels is just the more expensive version of the Precious Moments, whatever the hell it's called.
Kind of creepy again.
Yeah.
And Franklin Mint.
Funny you say that. Boom. Franklin.
I knew that was good. Yeah.
You fucking knew that was, you called that
what
shit.
Is that?
I was thinking of Cereal Mom and
that's right. Kathleen Turner.
Oh, I had to have that egg. It's Franklin Mint.
It's Franklin Mint. Didn't they also make like Civil War chess sets and all that kind of shit?
Oh,
212, fuck you.
Fuck you. I worked at the Hallmark store to cover Chabal. Oh, yes. Of course they sold those the Precious Moments ones. Yeah. I used to collect the Hesh trucks when I was younger. Hang in there, Richard. Funny you mention that.
Yeah, because here it comes.
Yep, vinyl band, vintage band t-shirts. Yeah, I don't know. We can just.
Do you know,
I had like 10,000 of them.
I was partnered to a guy that collected band and concert t-shirts. He had 47 bins of t-shirts.
Wow. Chad, are you watching?
It was ultimately one of the reasons I dumped him.
Wow. When I promoted this,
man.
Chad, are you on here? He talked about, he's got a bunch of shirts. He's into like racing. He actually makes them too. But he buys them new, never wears them, keeps them set aside. That's cool. Whatever you're into. Roop, I'm sure you have 1,000 fucking, right?
I did. I wore them and they're gone.
You know, because you're not a psycho who would like put them. I'm sorry, Chad. I'm teasing. What? Yeah, there you go. Curse. By the way, a side note: Kiss. We loved Kiss growing up. The X and Sex, worst song ever written. But anyway, moving on.
I agree.
Yeah, film cameras. Again, do you VHS and DVD? Yeah, it's your thing. Morgan dollars. That's Indian coins, basically. Happy Meal toys. Brown furniture. I didn't know what that meant. Basically, it meant like old wooden furniture. Like if it's, old furniture, it's they call it brown furniture.
You know that term goes back to the service days. We used to call televisions and stereos and things like that were brown goods.
Right. Oh, is that what that meant?
Refrigerators.
Really?
And refrigerators and washers and dryers and air conditioners were white goods.
Oh.
I never knew that. I've never even heard that until 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, me neither. I didn't know before I saw this. That's interesting. There you go. See, tell me, fucking Jason. He's a fount of knowledge.
Genius.
Oh, you go. Children's books.
Oh, Cat in the Hat. Terrible.
No fucking thanks. Vintage college pennants. Who the fuck would do that? Hot Wheels. That's not fucking bad. Hot Wheels. That's pretty cool. That was fun as a kid. This one. Autographed sports memorabilia. It can be worth a lot. And again, I cannot stress this enough. Whatever the hell you're into, fuck these people. If it makes you happy, it makes you happy. Cookie jars.
Don't let people tell you how to do your hobby.
Bingo. Exactly, Rube. Cookie jars.
And don't really let anybody tell you what it's worth. And this is what I keep saying to people that want it. They say, I saw this stereo and I want to know how much it's worth. And I'm like, if you love it, buy it.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to tell you whether it's worth it or not. And if you're buying it because it makes you happy, just fucking buy it.
That's it. Seriously.
If you're buying it because you think you're going to sell it at some point down the road and get your money back, that's never going to happen. So just buy it.
No, just fucking do it. Now, again, there's a limit. If some asshole has a TV with no tuner and says, give me $700 for it. But you're right. If it makes you happy, don't, you know what? And then if you do buy it and you're not sure about paying, don't fucking tell anybody.
But you know what? I can say this. The guy that had the TV set with no tuner, okay?
Right.
If there were a part on that set that was unobtainable anywhere else, and you needed it to fix a set that was very important to you, all of a sudden that $700 isn't unreasonable, is it?
Yeah, but you know what though? I don't think that specific TV would have an unobtainable. But I get your point. But sure, definitely, fair enough. Cookie jars. Denise and I actually have a little up on our cabinets. We different like cartoon dogs, like Astros. It's fun. Fuck you. What souvenir bells? I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't either.
When you go around to different things, World Cup, whatever. Salt and pepper shakers. Yeah, that's pretty fucking common.
Yeah.
That's growing up. Grandmom had that kind of stuff. Playbills, of course, to go to see shows. I don't know who the fuck this guy was. I didn't know he was. Thomas Kincaid. I guess he made like motel art or something, mass-produced art. I don't know who he was. There you go, Richard. Hess trucks. Bingo.
I had some of those when I was a kid.
You know what? They're pretty fucking cool, actually. They're pretty cool. License plates. Yeah, license plates / I don't think it's on here, but people did beer cans. That was a thing for a while. Beer cans.
You know why Hess trucks are collectible?
Why?
Because generally, I'd get a Hess truck for Christmas and it wouldn't last until New Year's because I'd bash my brother in the fucking head with it and that'd be the end of it.
So they had to mass produce them. You know what? It's true.
And that's exactly what happened.
That's a good fucking point.
One kid gets a Hess truck for Christmas and his brother or his sister does something he doesn't like. He smashes him in the fucking head with the Hess truck and that's it. No more Hess truck.
Look, that's a really good point. It's almost half a nunchuck there. Here's the way it's got a pivot there. That's fucking genius. That's fucking funny. License plates, vintage pins. That's cool. Whatever. Not my bag, but you do you. Vintage college clothing. Wheat pennies, more coins. Costume jewelry. That's just costume jewelry. I mean, right? That's still around. I don't know what is that. Farm tools. Yeah, that's kind of a trend too. That the country farm thing. I love this one. Unremarkable vintage clothing. Like if it's the dress that Natalie would drown in, sure, you might fetch a couple of bucks. But if it's unremarkable, snooze. Who cares?
I gotta ask you a question. You play your games, right?
What's that?
You play your games. You get some entertainment out of your games.
You saw those high scores, right? I mean, heck yeah.
Right, and you watch your TVs, right?
Fucking right, I do.
Okay. So then we're not just collecting, we're using our stuff. Like you showed the fans that I collect. Yes, I collect fans, but I use them too.
That's a good point. And again, I get it. You're not going to be able to, if you're into figurines and things, you can't do anything.
That's just shit that collects dust and takes up space.
But again, I'm not knocking it. But I hear you, though. I hear it. But if it brings you fucking joy, you know what? Life sucks is hard enough. If you look at a fucking Doc and Marty fucking Back to the Future thing, and it gives you a momentary, maybe you put the knife down off the wrist. Then you know what? That's fucking fine, right?
Yeah.
Right, Rube?
I collect vinyl. I collect reel-to-reel tapes. But I listen to them. And I play them, and I'm not a collector as like, oh my gosh, I got this rare vinyl. I can't play it. In fact, when I go to look for records, I look for the ones that the vinyl's good, but the cover's maybe written on or beat up because I want to listen to it. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I want to use it.
I got a kick out of it. There was a young guy that used to live next door to Rick and I, and he came down the street with an armful of LPs one day, and we have a big pile of LPs because I never get rid of them. Yeah. And I looked at the pile of LPs he had under his arm, and I started to laugh, and I said, oh, isn't that nice? They're a thing again. He goes, oh, do you collect vinyl too? And I looked at him and busted out laughing. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of all we had.
That's all we had.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you know what? That's true. You know what? You used to be able to, everybody had the American Graffiti soundtrack. Remember that with the cartoon drawing of the waitress at the car up and all that? It was beautiful things to look at. Now you just,
that's the best.
Play an MP3. Convenient, but
physical media.
Well, they sound like shit too.
VHS tapes gives a shit. Disney, Pokemon, never got into that. Old newspapers. It says because of repos and not worth anything anymore. This is old tech, iPods and MP3. It's the last one. Patchwork quilts. I don't know what that's all about. But anyway, so that's that. So there you go. All right, we're gonna wrap this up, gentlemen. Did you have a good time?
It's fun.
I did.
Yeah, this was fucking fun.
Awesome.
I mean, I hope it wasn't too geek out inside baseball for people, but this is what brings us joy. Don't worry, we'll get back to the dick and fart jokes next fucking episode. Which, by the way, speaking of which, We're off a little break. It's just about a month off there. March 22nd. That's a Friday. We're going to be doing Fridays from now on. So with the great Courtney Gift Cannon joining us. Thank you. I think that's anything to plug, anybody? Any plugs? Anything you want to talk about?
Want to buy TV?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, exactly. Seriously. By the way, anybody out there, if you have in late 50s, early mid 60s color television, get a hold of your pal Gary. No, call your pal Gary. You son of a bitch.
He doesn't know what to do with it. Call me.
Call him. That's
a Wizard of War arcade machine.
Or arcade machines. If you happen to have a Wizard of War, WOR, get a hold of me.
What shape it's in.
And I will
actually watch for that because Gary knows, and I don't want to talk about it here in a public forum, but I have a special place that I go to look for stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
And you'd be amazed at the stuff that turns up there.
Wow. Awesome.
And if I ever see one of those war games, I will get it for you. I promise.
And by the way, he freaking will. He does not play apes. Loved it. Oh, thank you, Bob. I love you. Oh, all right. So
awesome.
March 22nd with Courtney, and then April 5th we're going back to the 80s. My pal Roop right there is going to be joining us, along with Courtney, of course, and the great Kim Fry Welch, who has been a guest previously on this show. She's a hoot, maybe one of my oldest friends. When I first moved to Boyertown in '79, I met that broad, and we've been pals ever since. That's it. I think that'll do it. So, gentlemen, thank you again. I hope you had a good time. Everybody,
awesome.
Don't forget to follow us on the social media, the Backroom Show, the Backroom Network, and of course, go subscribe on YouTube. But people get scared. I think sometimes people hear subscribe, they think it's going to cost something, or we're going to blast you with stuff. No. I'm just trying to get some of that sweet, sweet influencer money, baby. That's right. And get your swag, baby. Reach out to me. That's it. You can text me 610-698-5878 or email me, Gary@backroomnetwork.com for your swag. All right. That's going to do it. Everybody, thank you. Thanks for hanging in with us. And we'll see you in a few weeks. So thanks for being here. And we'll see you next time in the back room. Boom. See ya.
Have a good night, gentlemen.
Hey.
See ya.